Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Proudly South African Women in Leadership Conversation, the second in our series of Women's Month in conversation sessions, which we are calling Fix Her Crown. We all need somebody to fix your crown. So today as women, we're having a conversation about anything and everything, but we're also fixing each other's crown. It's hard. It is incredibly hard, guys. Being a woman in this day and age is actually a trap. Now that I think of it, it's a trap. Nobody told us what to expect, but it is what it is, and we make it happen. My name is Happy Makumalo Ngidi. I am the Chief Marketing Officer, from Proudly South African, but today I'm also the Program Director. Welcome to everybody, our distinguished panelists. Welcome. Welcome to our partners this morning, our member companies, stakeholders, our friends of the campaign, and everybody who may be joining in on the Zoom platform, but on YouTube as well as on Facebook. We're live streaming today on all of these platforms. We appreciate your time this morning. So each week we speak to a different sector, women in different sectors. Last week we spoke to some amazing women in the clothing and textile industry, and we were talking about all things local and talking about the value chain in that industry. And today we do the same thing with the sugar sector. And next week we'll be looking at the creative arts. And the very last week of this month we'll be talking to women who make cars, women who assemble cars, and who are in that value chain, everything to do with the cars that we drive and cars that we see out in the public domain. So the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition series of sectoral master plans focuses on increasing local production and improving the industrial dynamism of key sectors. So the plans are designed to grow our industrialization efforts and bring government, industry, organized labor together to agree on specific measures to improve productivity, investment, competitiveness, and transformation in all of these sectors. To date, some of these sectors have been signed off, and that is the clothing and textile, footwear and leather, the poultry sector, steel, furniture, and automotive, and of course sugar. Hence we're having this discussion today. All of these sectors have a great potential for job creation, but with that said, they're also very vulnerable to job losses, which speak to the DNA of what we do as a campaign, as Proudly South African. We are about job creation. We are about issues around unemployment. We are about seeking to educate the public and South Africans about the importance of buying local, the importance of supporting local, and the importance of all of us playing a role to be the difference that we want to see. It ceases to be somebody else's problem. All of us can play a role in ensuring that our economy is in good standing. By the way, the buy local movement and buy local narrative is a tried and tested method the world over. Every country has its own buy local movement, and we are no different. And that's why Proudly South African exists, to ensure that we encourage and we educate and we spread the buy local narrative as wide as possible in South Africa for the betterment of our own economy. Unemployment is a real issue, everybody. And we all know somebody who's looking for a job, whether it's a close relative or a friend or whoever it may be. And most of those people have even given up for looking for jobs, because that's how hard it is and how persistent unemployment is. So with that said, we are talking about demonstrating the value chain in the sector today. We're talking to incredible women. I would imagine that when some of you got the invitation and it reads, we are talking about issues in the sugar sector, you probably thought, sugar, what's the big deal? What about sugar? We are about to find out today why the sector is so important, and we have experts online, women, incredible women, who have done incredible work over the years and who keep doing the incredible work that they do. So with that said, every time we have to play this commercial, I get very excited because it's one of those that is very close to our hearts. As Proudly South African, we actually produced the commercial last year, this time during hard lockdown, and we went out there, created the commercial in an effort to ask South Africans to take that time to pause a little bit and rethink their loyalty to South African products and South African brands. And we believe we did a relatively good job, and we used one of our own local exports, who you're about to see in Dr. John Gani. And so please may I ask my colleagues behind the scenes to play Game Time, Mzansi.
The second half is about to begin. We need to change the scoreboard. It's time for all of us to pause and rethink the game plan in order to save the future. I call on all of us to be game changers, because greatness isn't reserved only for some people. By buying local, we're choosing to create jobs and sustain the ones we have. Time and time again, South Africans have taken destiny into their own hands, creating products that the rest of the world wanted to buy. See, the world remembers about us, what we sometimes forget. But it's time for change. Let's all buy local. It's game time. Zanzi.
Local is lekker.
Your everyday decisions shape our future.
Our everyday decisions shape our future, says Dr. John Gani, our very own Wakanda. If we don't listen to him, then we have our work cut out for us. And that commercial was based on a soccer analogy. And what we thought when we put the idea together, we were looking specifically to send out a very emotive message to South Africans, where we were asking South Africans in the middle of lockdown and in the middle of the pandemic, that it's time for us to pause and rethink our loyalty to South African products. And it's based on a soccer analogy, because imagine, so we have a derby happening at the F&B Stadium, and Kaizer Chiefs, maybe I shouldn't even mention soccer teams, because we're going through a rough patch, all of us. But anyway, so imagine Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs are playing at the derby. The stadium is full to capacity, 90,000 spectators, all wearing jerseys that are locally made. That's another discussion for another day, but I'm planting a seed. And we're watching soccer, and the one team, which I'll not mention by name because I still, I have an appreciation and respect all my friends that belong to that team. But this team is lacking behind, and they go to the change room during halftime. Ordinarily, is that during halftime, the coach will say, listen, guys, whatever happens when we go back onto that pitch, we've got to do this thing. We've got to come back and ensure that we win the game. It's hard out there, but we've got to do our best. We've got to give it our best shot and come back, and win the game. They leave the changing rooms, they go back into the pitch, and the game starts again. And by the end of the game, 90 minutes later, Kaizer Chiefs has won the game, and they were behind initially. It's about that. It's about the fact that now that we have been forced to pause by the pandemic, and we've had to do things differently, just this discussion that we are having now, a hybrid conversation, ordinarily, under normal circumstances, we would be in a venue somewhere and we would have a personal interaction with the guests in the room, but COVID has taught us to do things differently. And so the commercial is about that, is about the fact that in the absence of imports back then, last year during this time, we relied on South African products, and we were good, which is a reminder that South Africa has good, great quality products that are affordable and that are accessible. Don't let anybody tell you that local is not lekker. That reminds me, by the way, let me pay the bills. So today I am wearing David Tlale, who is an amazing local designer who has stood the test of time and who is a creative genius when it comes to the clothing sector. Thank you, David, for doing your thing. Thank you so much. I'm wearing local, by David Tlale, which is a nice touch to this conversation that we are having. So I think you'll agree that commercial was very emotive, and the background that I gave to the commercial. But before we hit the sweet spot with this conversation, for everybody watching, I want to ask you for two things. Number one is for you to send us your comments, your questions, either to Proudly South African or to any of our speakers that are online today. You're very welcome. This discussion is also for you. It doesn't matter which sector you come from. You may want to, be part of the sugar sector at some point. You may be a consumer. You may be in the private sector or the public sector. This conversation is for all women and men, if you like, because we can imagine that there's men on the line as well. So for everyone watching, there is a competition. We're looking for 20 people who are going to answer the question and give us the correct answer. And the answer you will get in the context in what I say about the sector. You will see on your screen, there's a QR code that you need to take. Grab your phone, take a picture of that code, follow the details, and enter the competition. And the question is there, and the answer is in the context, in the opening that I said. But for those of you who are paying attention, is that this sector, the sugar sector, takes care of about 1 million households. That's what the sector does, over and above many, many other things. The sector takes care of about 1 million livelihoods. Go to the competition and see what it is that you are asked to do there. And the competition has these fantastic South African goodies, or rather proudly South African made goodies, these lovely bags. I would love to win one of these. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to enter the competition, but this is what the goodie bag that you're going to win has got in it. You've got the stuff on the screen now, just to give you an idea of what it is that you can win. But we also have, from the 20 winners, we will choose one lucky person who is going to win a weekend away, courtesy of Coca-Cola beverages, a weekend away with your partner. So do your thing. Let your fingers do the talking. Grab that phone, enter the competition, follow the details, and win something, somebody. Win something, courtesy of Coca-Cola beverages and Proudly South African today. Fantastic. So with that said, I would like us to have a look at the screen again as we play a anthem from one of our member companies who's a partner here today, Hewlett's South Africa, where, we've all gone through so many things, so much. We're juggling this thing called life, the pandemic, job losses, everything that you can think of. And every now and then we need to sing the national anthem, or to at least hear it. And with that said, here's the anthem that we did together with Hewlett's Technical. Hit us with the anthem, please. Welcome back, everybody. So it gives me great pleasure to now introduce you to the women who are doing incredible things in the sugar sector. who we want to celebrate today. Celebrate them and celebrate their teams behind the scenes who ultimately contributes one way or another to us walking into a retail store as consumers, and we grab a packet of sugar and we take it back home to do, to consume it whichever way that we would like to consume it. But with that said, we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and maybe not the not so ugly, because we all know that with anything that you consume, whether it's your favorite wine, whether it's your favorite cup of tea, whatever it is, you need to ensure as a person that you need to do it in moderation. But we'll talk about that just now. Anna Marie de Beer, welcome this morning. Anna Marie is from Nestle South Africa, and she is nutrition, health, and wellness manager for Nestle East and Southern Africa region. Anna Marie, your bio is a thesis, is a whole Bible. I will never be able to go through it, but I acknowledge the fact that you have done amazing and you keep doing amazing things. Welcome and good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
With the greatest of pleasure. We couldn't have a discussion in the sugar sector without Nestle South Africa in the mix. Nestle South Africa has been a member of the Proudly South African campaign for the past 8 to 10 years, if my memory serves me well. So you remain a great friend of the campaign with all your amazing products that many households have had over the years. Who can ever forget the likes of Kit Kat, that our kids are still going gaga over it? Who can forget Cremora and Re Coffee? But I have a bone to pick with you, Anna Marie. Nestle South Africa promised South Africans a 25-hour a day. 25 hours in a day in your product, bar one. We're still waiting for the extra hour in the 24 hours that we have. What do you say to that?
Well, I think the 25 hours are there. We just need to figure it out, eh?
We just need to figure it out ourselves, the 25 hours. Thank you so much, Anna Marie. We'll have a chat with you just now. I also want to welcome on the podium, onto the screen rather than the podium, Nkonzo Mhlongo. Nkonzo Mhlongo is Corporate Affairs Executive at Hewlett, South Africa. Nkonzo, welcome to you this morning.
Morning.
Morning. Could we please, there we go. I was about to ask if you're running away from us because we couldn't see you on screen. Welcome, Nkonzo. Nkonzo is from, like I said, Corporate Affairs Executive at Hewlett's. Welcome. You are a friend of the campaign, as in Hewlett's. We've done amazing things with you over the past 12 months or so, and it gives us great pleasure to have you on the platform so we can have a chat about some of the things that you do for Hewlett's. Thank you so much. Thank you. And our next guest is Matlogonolo, who is also connecting with us. Matlogonolo is the owner of the Bread Box. The Bread Box has brought us amazing delicacies today. Matlogonolo is a mover and shaker. Matlogonolo is, in fact, I have so much respect for your hustle. You don't rest, which is amazing. We love you and we thank you for being with us this morning. Good morning, Matlogonolo.
Good morning, and good morning to everybody.
Fantastic, welcome. Great to see you today. And then we move on to, we have on the line, Joan Fabs on the line, who is Vice Chair of the Sugar Association of South Africa, a friend of the Proudly South African campaign. We've had Joan in some of our sessions in the past. Welcome to you, Joan.
Oh, thank you for inviting me to participate in MC.
It is our pleasure. It is great to see you again. Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to having a chat with you just now. And And we have another speaker, last but not least. She is from Coca-Cola Beverages, CCBSA. Her name is Busi Tusi, and she is Head of Procurement and Transformation at Coca-Cola Beverages. Good morning, Busi, and welcome.
Good morning, Happy, and thank you for the opportunity to connect.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time this morning. So we do have a cook/chef in the studio as well, and we're going to talk to her about the delicacies that they've prepared for us, and it is really just our effort to try and showcase to you what it is that you can do with sugar at home. In case you're looking for you're looking for a plan to whip up some scones today for high tea, or you want to whip up some dessert today for something, we have goodies in the studio today to showcase to you. And I'm going to have a quick chat with our guest in the studio. Her name is Precious.
Yes.
Precious, hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thanks, and you?
Good, thanks.
All right, we see you've created delicacies that we can easily make at home using sugar. You're from the bread box,
from the bread
right?
Box,
You're from the and the bread box does amazing stuff. You're a confectionery, and you are a training studio as well for budding cooks and budding chefs. And we've seen you do amazing things, and hence Matlokonolo is on the line to chat to us about her business, because the Bread Box is a proudly South African member. Take us through some of these lovely things. It feels like I want to eat breakfast now.
You can, actually.
So what do we have here? What is this? This is a beggar roll, right?
Yes, it is.
But it's a different color.
It's a different color. It's charcoal, actually. We have a whole lot of sugar in it. So to have you bouncing up and down, but in order to keep it moderate, we added a little bit of chicken mayo with the salad in there, just to have that little bit of crunch. So we used our unsweetened milk for this, condensed milk. For the sauce. It's a special sauce from the Bread Box Bakery. You don't get it anywhere else. So you have to come in there, and have more of it. But we have something here for our guests here as well, to nibble on something. And then tell me about, don't go to the desserters yet, because we will leave that for later. We leave the best for last. Tell me about the scones and the cakes, because I feel like because it's in the morning, you could do that for tea, right? With tea rather. So our scones are our best seller. So as you can see here, we have different color scones. This is our orange scones, and then here we have a mixture of our coconut and plain scones. So what we did here, we substituted what we usually use. So we use, normally it's just your normal sugar, you know. So because increasing the levels, we used our condensed milk here. And then just the condensed milk from Nestle South Africa. Yes, from Nestle South Africa. We have to keep it, So it's just to give you that little bit of a buzz and to make sure that you keep coming back for more. There's the secret. That's the secret. And then we have here our berry and chocolate cake. Hang on. This will come later. Remember, we're leaving the best for last. I want to talk about the pancakes. The pancakes, yes. So our pancakes here, we have our evaporated unsweetened milk. Yes, so instead of... Listen, very complicated. Evaporated unsweetened milk. Is that it? Yes. Okay, all right. That's English from Harvard. Yes. So, you can just have this as is, it's so perfect. Or you can just add your little bit of cream, if you want, from Nestle, of course. Just to... have a little bit of that. Just to jazz it up a little bit. But I also see that you also jazz it up with some cherries and some strawberries, oranges. We're going into summer. So you have to keep it lively, you know. So we have that just for, it's not just for the eyes, but you can also have chop it up a little bit with your, like I said, your cream as well, and just top it with strawberries, garnish it with oranges as well, and berries.
Okay.
Just to keep it.
All right. So in typical South African lingo, we say tibopa.
Yes.
You know, hang on. Just leave it there. We will be back to talk about the rest of the stuff while we connect to Mahlokonolo. Have we got Mahlokonolo back online? Welcome back, Mahlokonolo. So I want to talk to you about what we've just seen. Precious is doing an amazing job with us here in the studio. You should have been here. You should have been here. But next time, we'll make it happen. So Mahlokonolo, tell us about the importance of food in your life. You know, how you became interested in cooking and baking as the bread box. You're an entrepreneur, right? And you chose to go into this business. Yeah.
Yes, I think looking at the industry that I've been since I finished my schooling in ICT, I'm a foodie at heart. So I grew up in a family where I was raised by my grandmother. My grandmother was a baker. So I think when I grew up, I thought she was actually abusing us, because by 4 o'clock, we literally had to wake up and bake and then go to school before that. So that our neighbors and other people can actually have bread and other stuff to do. So she's actually the one that actually raised me. I vowed that I'll never touch flour in my life, up until I got to a place where, when I moved to Midrand, I started seeing women carrying placards and stuff like that. And then I, being my inquisitive self, I did ask, what is it that it could take them away from the streets? And I asked them that, if I give you a skill that I've acquired over the years, would you be able to do something with your life instead of relying on your grants? Because if somebody teaches you a skill, it's not something that you can take away. So that's where my passion for food, because I'm a foodie at heart, but then I decided to do something with it to empower other women that are struggling, because with the skill that somebody has actually given to you, nobody can take it away from you. So we have actually done so many things. We've actually started, it didn't start as a business, it started as empowering women, and our demand became bigger, and we found ourselves opening the first store in 2018 in April. So, and with that, even most of the people that work for us is the people that we really took from streets, and we actually train them with partnership with culinary schools that are around, that are actually helping us to be able to professionalize them. So we've got actually good relationship with them to be able to empower them, so that when they go to their villages, they're able to do something for themselves. So that's how we really started, and I think we continue to do that. We continue to empower women like Precious. I call her Basani. So she's a very wonderful a young lady. So she's a fast learner. So, and then we empower them to be able to train others that are coming also, because it's really amazing. So I really wake up. I think it's my purpose to make sure that other women are okay, and they have acquired skills, and then they have something that can actually they can make a living from.
And my next question to you was going to be, who inspired you to get into this industry and do what you do? Because I do believe that you were in the corporate world at some point with the cell phone company, and you left. And you took the leap of faith and opened up your own business. But you have already mentioned your grandmother, who you were of the view back then when you were growing up that you were being abused when she was asking you to cook magwinya in the morning and bake whatever it is. But look at you today. Look at you today. So upbringing is absolutely critical. But I think I get a sense that your grandmother also taught you as one of the women that inspired you, and you can tell us who else that inspired you to fix your own crown, but fix other women's crowns as well. Correct?
Yes. I think for me, as we grew up in a family where everybody was there for everyone. So like it was when I grew up the only child for the longest time, I think for 8 years or so. So in our family, my mom and my grandmother would take other kids in to assist, whether to take them to school or to do anything else. So we grew up like that. My aunt would take us in. My aunt would take the neighbors or any other person. So we grew up in a family. And even when you come to my house right now, there are some children or some kids that I've taken in so that we can help. We don't have much, but if we can help, to take kids out of a certain situation and bring them into a favorable environment, we do that. And I think for me, my husband was like, sometimes I think, I put him in the spot because I'll just be like, I found somebody else, and then I put them in the coach to say, up until they sort themselves out. And then he thought I'm talking about, I'm going to do it the next day or so, but then the person is already in the car. So that's the kind of how I grew up. It has a lot to do with it more than anything else. I mean, my mother still does the same. My aunts are still doing the same, helping and taking people in and helping them in a way that they can. Because like in our home, I think it's only ladies. Like my aunts, they're 4. So it's all ladies, and, how they grew and how they helped each other. I think it had a lot to do with what I'm currently doing today, and it comes naturally for me, because it's something that I grew up with.
Okay, and for those people who are some of the people who are online today, and they now know that the Bread Box is a member of the campaign, and they would like to join the movement, because that's why we do these things. We want to showcase South African products and South African services to the broader South Africa. We want to say to South Africans, we do have products that are made locally. We do have services such as yours that are authentic and that are South African, where where South Africans are assisting each other with employment. I mean, you do have people. How many people do you employ in your business?
10.
10. Those are 10 households that rely on the job that they have at the Bread Box, where at the end of the month or during the month they take care of their family members. And some of those, the people that you employ may be breadwinners. Big deal. Something that we cannot take for granted as a people and as proudly South African in terms of the efforts that we make. For somebody who may be sitting out there and thinking, how do I join the movement, the Proudly South African movement? I will tell you how, but I would like you to share with us, what has Proudly South African done for you in the last couple of months, in the last year that you've been a member? How have we, as Proudly South Africans, stepped in to assist you as an entrepreneur in South Africa?
Sure, there's a lot. Where do I start? Besides the fact that I'm always nagging you guys.
The short version.
So I'm that child when they've got a parent and the parent says, we can open doors, we can help you knock on doors that you do. So I think I don't know where to start, and I think you guys have done a lot for me. And the opening doors that I would have actually taken longer. And I think one thing that you guys assisted a lot is that we started a kids cooking championships. Our kids cooking championship is that we teach kids how to cook, and then we are saying cooking is maths and science made edible. And also what we're doing is that we are turning these kids into functional adults. So we're not teaching them to kiddies food. And also, we're also trying to change the narrative in the kitchen, where we're saying to young boys, I only have boys. And these boys, like, they always saying, Mommy, I'm hungry, Mommy, so they need to step up and then make food for themselves. And we've demonstrated with my 7-year-old, who started at 5-year-old, that boy can actually make a 3-course meal while we're sitting with no assistance. So Proudly SA has assisted with partners in terms of making sure that Kiddies Cooking Championship happens, and we really appreciate. And then ever since that, we have seen people having interest. Every weekend, our classes are fully booked, and we're having an overflow because people now are seeing the difference and then the feedback that we're getting. But I think if it wasn't for Proudly SA and trying to make us meet other, partners. And I don't know, like if we would have managed to be where we are, and including also our bakery, where, you'd Proudly SA would send people to our bakery to say, check bread box out, do this, and also saying, how is it that we can help you? And for me, it was easy. Joining Proudly SA didn't take me 10 minutes, and the process is easy. Within 3 days, you're already a member, you got your certificate, and, they keep on, holding your hand. And I think Proudly SA has been holding our hand from day one up until today. And it's really amazing. So sometimes the way I speak about Proudly SA, people are asking me, do you work there? Like, do you work for Proudly SA? But it's because what they have done for us, and I'm always advocating for people to buy local, the importance of buying local. Because if people are not coming and buying bread from us, if people are not coming and buying, it means that we will end up shutting down, and the people that rely on us in terms of giving them employment won't have anywhere to go. So for me, buy local movement, I think it's one of the, the things that is very close to my heart, because we've got people that are also relying on us so that they can feed their families. So I really advocate for buy local, and Proudly SA, they know that if there's any campaign that has to be to say buy local, I'm there. I don't ask any question. I'll rather try and figure something out so that I can be part of it, because it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the economy, and especially for us as small business.
Thank you so much, Matlogonolo. We appreciate you. Like I said earlier on, we respect your hustle, because you really are a hard worker. And as I say goodbye to you, I want to say big ups to you for ensuring that your boy children in your home do not prescribe to this narrative that the kitchen is a place for women only. Those little boys must whip up their own sandwiches. They must contribute, and help you cook their meals. At times as women, you come back from work and you really literally want to throw yourself on the couch with the remote. And there could be little people that come to you and say, Mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I'm hungry, depending on how old they are, of course. And if your boy child can go to the kitchen and sort themselves up, it's out. It's an amazing thing. But also, going forward, when they're adults and they're able to have an appreciation that they can help their partner in the kitchen is not a woman's place. Who set the rule? Who set that tone? Who set that narrative? It's okay not to be in the kitchen as a woman if you choose not to be. But thank you so much, Matlogonolo. We wish you all the best with your business. Keep flying the proudly South African flag high. And we were still talking about you, rather, and about your business even when you get off the call, because we still have Precious hanging out here with us, and we're going to talk about desserts and all sorts of things later on. Thank you, Matlogonolo. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So that was Matlogonolo. She is the owner and founder of the Bread Box. They're based in Midrand. They're a beautiful confectionery, and they're also a training studio for budding cooks and chefs. But Precious will tell us later how to find them. But they are on social media. Look them up, everybody. Look them up and follow them and go and support them. Don't support them because shame. You feel sorry for them. Support them because they are an amazing, great small business that, and they're working very, very hard, creating magic in the kitchen. Thank you so much, Joan. Please, may we have Joan on the line, on screen. Joan, I'm hoping that so far you are enjoying the discussions, but I want to bring you in at this point, and I want to ask you this, Joan, that it seems the sugar industry has been the most progressive in terms of land transfer. Can you tell us what this means to the growers and to the rural communities?
Indeed. I'll start back to front, as it were. Sugar is grown in rural areas, and that means the whole socio-economy is reliant on the business the sugar industry brings in. And it is absolutely amazing how SASA has recognized the need to promote diversity in the sugar industry as well. But more than that, it has been able to transfer more than 21% of freehold land under sugarcane from white farmers to black farmers without a shot being fired. Mm-hmm. And they've been able to do this through the enabling legislation of the broad-based Black economic empowerment, as well as the strategy. That has provided an enabling environment for SASA to do this work. But more than that, this is Women's Month. Mm-hmm. And I suppose 20 years ago or so, one hardly saw a woman in a professional position in SASA. That is no longer the case at all. They have focused on empowering women to take their rightful place alongside their brothers in the sugar industry, from being farm managers, farm owners, to actually in the financial and administration side of the SASA, the South African sugar industry. They've also done so much in the milling companies. You know, up to now, South Africa has had been dominated, if you like, by white industrialists. But what the millers have done is to encourage the ownership, increasing the ownership of Black people in the industry there. And they've done this by capacitation. SASA also has a training establishment which provides technical training as well as training in the agricultural fields. And then what they cannot do, then people in the sugar industry, and by people, I mean people from largely rural, poor areas, are able to get bursaries from SITFA, one of the first trust funds to promote Black empowerment. And they can go right up to getting their doctorates, which I was amazed to see how many women were pursuing a career in the agricultural industry and enjoying it and saying, this is what I want to do. This is what I aspire to do. And I think one is able to do this in the sugar industry because on the one hand, it's all about food, yes, sugar. We've seen this with the chef here and the work that's been done in the bread basket and so on. But on the other hand, it is also about contributing and supporting the energy sector through the production of ethanol. But of course, at the moment, we have a Sugar Act. And the Sugar Act is supportive primarily, if I may put it this way, in the production of sugar. So, of course, the new minister, the current Minister Patel, is looking at this, as is Parliament. Look, we've got to move on into the future. And the future is going to mean, I believe, sugar, the whole plant, etc., will be used, not simply the sugar inside, but the juice for ethanol, the bagasse, that is what some people see as the plants and the leaves, etc. They can be used as organic fertilizer, but also, we are told by the experts, it is the cheapest and best and healthiest among the animal feeds once it's mixed in. The other thing about bagasse, it takes a long, long time to grow a tree, as we know. Yeah. Sugarcane grows in a year. And the bagasse can be used to produce cardboard. We use a lot of cardboard as we are moving away from, if you like, plastic bags, etc. But again, sugar can be mixed with plastic, if you like. And in mixing it, it reduces some of the pollution aspects of plastic itself. Sugar can also contribute to the production of pharmaceuticals. You know, I was in Cuba some years back, and I was astonished to learn that they were producing a drug for cancer, to address cancer from sugarcane. So we often see sugarcane and say, oh, too much sugar, obesity. And it is unfortunate that we see it like that. It could be because, as you probably know, our sweets and our cool drinks use a lot more sugar than elsewhere in the world. But I must congratulate Coca-Cola in being among the first of the cool drink producers to actually reduce the amount of sugar, even in the original Coca-Cola, if I can put it that way. Because these days I see you get 4 forms of Coca-Cola, light, this, that, and the next thing. But I was told, and I sat next to him, the president of Coca-Cola at that time, that don't have this one, you must have the original. It's far healthier. So I think we need to appreciate the beneficial aspects of sugar when consumed in the right quantities, as I believe the bread basket is trying to do as well. The other thing I would like to point out is when I stayed in Namibia, it was very clear when mines closed down, you had the development of ghost towns. The danger is if industry such as the sugar industry has to close down, you will get ghost villages and towns in South Africa. So it's in the interest of the entire community of South Africans, not only the government, but the private sector as well as NGOs, to support industries like the sugar industry so that they continue to provide for the socio-economic life in a rural community, which they do. And I must say that SASA, with its determination to transform the profile of the industry from what was 100% white, but now is more and more, the profile, racial profile is more and more diversified because of their active and positive approach to assisting Black sugarcane farmers, especially the small sugarcane farmers. And a lot of this work goes to SAFTA, the South African Farmers Association, who also, if I can say, led the charge in this transformation. But the industry as a whole now, from cane growers to millers to SAFTA, are all pursuing the same transformation road, and that is, let us diversify the racial profile, let us diversify the production profile, and let us diversify the skills that our country needs. And I felt very honored to have been invited to contribute to the South African sugar industry. I thank you most sincerely, Happy. And you look beautiful, I must say. I love your dress.
Thank you. And it's local. You did hear that part, right? Thank you so much. But Joan, let me tell you this. I mean, you know, big ups to you and your women colleague, you know, in leadership position and in your organization, you know, on the role that you and your female colleagues have played in transforming the sector. It's not somebody else's problem, right? You know, when we are in positions where we can make a difference, it does become our responsibility as well. We can't sit in our little corner and point a finger at somebody else who you think should be doing the job. You have demonstrated with the female colleagues in the industry and in the South African Sugar Association that we can all play our part in making a difference. You know, so it's really just so commendable, the work that you are doing in the industry. There is a nice comment from somebody on social media. Her name is Nelly Zama, and she's talking to you, Joan. She says that she's enjoying your contribution. She's enjoying the session, and it has a special place in her heart because she has a sugarcane plantation at her home. So it's bringing lovely, fond memories for her.
That's wonderful. I should have said one thing. Yes, this is Women's Month, but we need our brothers.
Yes.
And I must say, we can applaud the males involved in the sugar industry, because it's still majority male, for actually electing and putting in place a chairperson, a female chairperson of the sugar industry, the first Black woman,
yes,
and that is Cindy Mabasa Koyana. Yes. I think I applaud our male colleagues for also understanding the need to recognize the contribution women can make.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. And and just to add on to that, and Cindy is so deserving. I mean, she is a trailblazer. Cindy does not, like many hardworking women, and I talk about her this way because I know her personally. I doubt that she has an 8-hour sleep. She is always on the move, thinking about the next meeting, the next board meeting, the next contribution she's going to make. Cindy Mabasa Koyana is just really an inspiration to me, a mentor, if you like, because she's been in the industry for so many years. Thank you so much, Joan. I'm going to request that you stay on with us because there's still so much to talk about with the other ladies, but your contribution is, I feel like I've just been schooled. And I'm sure there's many people on the platform that feel that they've just been schooled by you and what you've shared with us this morning. Thank you. I'm a little disappointed though that you didn't wear the hat that I saw you wearing at our dry run the other day. I love that hat. I thought that you were going to show up in that hat today. I'm a little disappointed, but we can fix that some other time. Thank you so much. That is Joan Fabs, and she is the Vice Chairperson of the South African Sugar Association. Thank you, Joan. Always such a pleasure having you in the room with your wealth of knowledge on any subject. Honestly, just any subject. Thank you so much. And like they say in the commercial world, we're going to go pay the bills. And we have a Cappy commercial coming up, 60 seconds or so. Hit us, technical, please. Let's go for it.
I'm growing up, I'm growing into every moment. So nurture every moment with Cappy Essentials, 100% fruit juice blends for the whole family.
That is a Coca-Cola South Africa beverages, Cappy, the brand. Thank you so much, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a partner today, and they are a Coca-Cola beverages, a member of the Proudly South African campaign. We know that we can always count on them on any given day. Thank you, Coca-Cola. And now I want to have a quick chat to Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie from Nestle, a great supporter of the campaign as well. Now, Anne-Marie, there you go. There you are. We obviously don't want to get into a controversial discussion about the good and the bad aspects of sugar consumption, right? I did say earlier on in my opening remarks that we all know that whatever we consume, we have to do it in moderation. Anything you consume, anything, whether it's music, it's television, it's your favorite bottle of wine, it doesn't matter. We all know that we have a responsibility to do it in moderation. But can you give a summary of what your work involves, guiding a company with many confectionery brands in its stable?
Good, yes, and thank you very much for the opportunity. I think it's just fair to say that from a sugar point of view, and as Nestle is a sugar user and not necessarily part of the industry, but rather a consumer of the sugar, we are working very hard on helping consumers to make good decisions when it comes to nutrition. Now, within confectionery, people often ask, well, why, as a nutrition, health and wellness company, as me in my position in nutrition, health and wellness, where does confectionery fit in? And I think what's important is to understand that we all enjoy food. Food is not just about nutrition. It's making us feel good. I think the South African community celebrate with food. When we're sad, we eat. When we're happy, we eat. When someone's born, we eat. When someone dies, we eat. So food is very much part of what we do, and confectionery at that as well. So from what I do when it comes to the confectionery part of our business is really to provide guidance when it comes to product development. Obviously, we also know that in our country, we have a big problem with overweight. It's really a very big concern. In South Africa, more than 50% of the women are overweight, if you didn't know that. So it's important that when in my job specifically is to guide the product development. Can we perhaps reduce the sugar a bit? So there's a few things we can do there. But also that's one thing that's very important is portion guidance. So we're not saying to people don't ever have a chocolate. What we are saying is just look out for how much of that chocolate you're having. And I think you've mentioned it earlier on. Jonas mentioned it earlier on. It's about moderation. And I think when it comes to confectionery, we also talk about discretionary calories, so that you plan your diet and that consumers actually plan what they eat in such a way that there's also a bit of discretionary calories, so that when you want to have the scone with a bit of sugar or you want to have the chocolate, that there's actually space for that within your diet. And this is the problem. Unfortunately, we are eating too much. Not just confectionery, just in general. So overweight is a very simple equation, and I'm really simplifying it a lot now, but it's about what we're taking in versus what we're giving out. So if the energy balance is wrong, we're either going to be overweight or underweight. So it's important to get that balance right. And for that reason, we're definitely not saying to people don't have any confectionery. All we're saying is have it in a bit of moderation. So that's the one part of what I do. The other part, of course, is consumer education, and how do we get consumers to understand what it is that they should be doing. And we use our labels for that. So within the Nestle portfolio, you will find that we've got a nutrition compass at the back, and on there we have certain questions. We have what we call ask a good question, what's good to know. And often there, especially with the confectionery, we guide consumers to say, well, if you're going to have this particular brand, it's probably good to go and invest in a bit of exercise. And then we give them guidance on that. So it's my role is really around guiding the brands, guiding our product development part of it, and then also our consumers, and helping our consumers to make an educated choice when it comes to confectionery.
Okay, and thank you for that, Anne-Marie. What I do want to ask is that you have partly answered my next question to you, which is around women's health issues in general in South Africa. For example, I was not aware, and I'm sure many people on the line also not aware, that 50% of women in South Africa are overweight, you said, in South Africa. What an eye-opener, from a health perspective. But also want to ask what do you think the biggest challenges then are in this day and age, 2021? Are we worse off than we were, prior to this, or what are the biggest challenges then that face women in this context?
I think from a health point of view, yes, we are definitely worse off. Unfortunately, overweight and obesity is increasing at an extremely rapid rate. In fact, South Africa now is the fastest growing nation in terms of overweight. So our rate of getting overweight is much faster than what it's been anywhere else in the world. And that's really a big concern. So I think the challenges that women are facing are multifactorial. When I said earlier on that we eat when we're sad, we eat when we're happy, we eat whenever, women often eat because of those things. So very much emotional eaters. Very often women are the last ones to eat. We feed the family first. There's so many things to do. So I think for women, the challenges that women face today are very different to the ones that they faced 50 years ago. Today, many women have careers, they've got children, they've got to function at work, and very often it's very high power careers that they're pursuing. And within that, it becomes very difficult to look after yourself. There's hardly time to go to the gym. You mentioned earlier on the chairperson of Sugar South Africa, who probably doesn't get 8 hours of sleep a day. That's true for very many women, but with that, they don't have time to look after themselves. And I think that's perhaps the biggest challenge that we're currently facing is how do we get women to look after themselves first in order for them to be able to look after their families, to look after their jobs. I think that is one of the big things that we need to consider. Of course, after COVID, one of the big challenges that we had, many people stayed home. For some, it was a time to cook. And we see a lot of that happening now where people are really back into the kitchens. And I think that's wonderful. And I'm so happy to hear about the boys that are back in the kitchen because I think it's really important. But we also need to understand that we really have to manage and juggle a number of balls in the air, and that becomes quite difficult. So I think to answer your question, the biggest challenges we're facing, I think, is a lack of time. And many career women, I think, would agree with me on that. The second thing is really to find the time and often the energy to look after ourselves. And we really need to help women to do that because of the overweight pandemic that we're facing at the moment in our country. And what we need to understand that overweight by itself is probably okay, but it's the consequences of the overweight. So women are going to die earlier. They're going to have diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, which of course is a major problem again in our country and especially on our continent. And all of those things, so the related morbidities or the diseases with overweight is really far-reaching and also affecting the economies of our countries.
So, Anne-Marie, before I let you go for a bit of a break, a little birdie tells me that your daughter is following in your footsteps. Have you got any issues with that?
Well, it's an interesting question. It's actually lovely. I'm really very proud of her. It wasn't my decision. She said to me one day, she thinks she must become a dietitian. And I said to her, are you sure? And she said, yep. And I said, well, okay, before you do this, let's go and see what it's all about. And I sent her to a big hospital in South Africa to go and work with a dietitian. And she left the morning at about 6:30. I picked her up at 4:00 in the afternoon and I saw this face was beaming. And I said to her, now I'm me expecting that, no, she's not going to like this. She won't do this. She said, Ma, this is exactly what I want to do. And so with that, yes, I'm very proud of her. It gives us lots of time to talk. Now when we talk, it's quick, she'll give me a quick call and ask about a patient or have she had a specific situation in the hospital and we could have this back. And I think that makes us, one, mom and daughter, but also colleagues. And it's really wonderful. I really enjoy it to have another dietitian in the household.
Your home is a very healthy home, and I can't wait for my own daughter to be your daughter's age, because at this age, at 12 years old, my daughter has a new business idea every week, and mommy must invest in it. And then the one day she is a chef in her head, in her little mind, and then she sells clothes and she makes all sorts of things. Then she wants to be an interpreter in China because she's learning Mandarin. Listen, I can't wait for her to be your daughter's age so she knows exactly what it is she wants to do. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. Lovely chatting to you. Don't go away. There is a comment on Facebook, and Mandy says, I am really getting educated here. It's a great place to be, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. We'll chat to you again just now. Thank you so much. Just to mention to everybody, please keep the questions coming in, the comments coming in. And I just want to also again acknowledge our two partners today. Who are member companies. It's Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa, and as well as Nestle South Africa, and our member company Hewlett, who's also a partner today, and many stakeholders who are online, who have joined us. A sector desk from the DTIC, our colleagues are here, the industry is here. It's really great to know that most of you are online. Thank you so much for the partnership, Nestle South Africa, as well as Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Before I move on to our next guest, Johanna, who is Johanna Rashidi, wants to know, how does one join the Proudly South African movement? Very easy, Johanna. Go to our website, www.proudlysa.coza, and go to the membership icon. It takes you through the process, the information and all of that. Failing which, follow us on social media at Proudly SA. DM us. We will give you all the details that you need for you and or your brand to be a member of the campaign. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget the competition. Enter that competition. There's lovely prizes to be won. You took a picture of the QR code. The details are there. You'll win a beautiful hamper courtesy of both Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa as well as Nestle South Africa, and a few other goodies from Proudly South Africa. And we're also looking for one winner who's going to walk away with a weekend away for you and your friend or your person, whoever it is that you want to take with to that weekend away. So it gives me great pleasure now to welcome back onto. Actually, before we talk to the next two guests, I want to go back to our cook/chef in the room, Precious, who's still here. Precious, I want to ask you, there's somebody who asked you a question.
Okay.
And she says she's asking she wants to know, her name is Sanele, and she's here on the Zoom platform. Can we get training on how to bake just for Women's Month? I would love to know how to do that, Precious.
Yes, actually at the Bread Box Bakery.
Yes.
And we also do have a studio.
You can stand up so we see you. There we go. We want to see your apron also.
Yes. So at the Bread Box, we have a studio where we teach people how to bake, how to cook. All of these delicacies you will know. So we have classes every weekday, every weekend. So all you just have to do is go onto our website, www.thebreadboxbakery.co.za. Find us there, also through our social medias, The Bread Box Bakery, The Bread Box Studio, and you'll find everything that you need, all of our information. So all you have to do is just show up and learn how to make all of these things and more. So we don't just only focus on desserts, we also do like Ms. Matlakhonola did explain, your 3-course meals and so forth. Yeah. So open for everyone, ages, old, young, everybody's welcome.
Okay, but now talk about the 3-course meal.
Yes.
So before Matlakhonola left, she threw at us an amazing surprise, and it's a prize. For those of you who would like to be part of this experience at the Bread Box at no cost to you, so don't say Proudly South African and the Bread Box do nothing for you. We come bearing gifts, and we are pleased to let you know that there is a prize. You could win a pair of tickets today to a 3-course night dining experience. 3 course. Guys, it's a starter, it's a main meal, it's a dessert, and it's the ambiance. Okay, so a 3-course night dining experience at the Bread Box in Midrand this coming Friday night. You've got to be, the only trick is that you've got to be in Gauteng for you to be able to drive all the way to Midrand. But it's a 3-night dining experience at the Bread Box Studio in Midrand this Friday evening. You must be available this Friday to take part in all of this. Matlokonolo and the Bread Box and Precious promises us that they will capture the moment and they will share it with us on social media. They will show us what it is that they prepared for you as their special guest. So, you know, there's a prize to be won. I feel like asking you a question, because you can't just win a 3-course meal and you haven't worked for it. If you've been listening attentively, or you are on your smartphone, obviously, and you have access to all of those things, I'm going to ask you a question that will make you, give you a chance to rather win this prize from the Bread Box. The question is, how many years has Proudly South African been in existence? You go, you do your research. We'll come back when we find the winner. How many years has Proudly South African been in existence? So we're celebrating, you know, our decades this year. Go figure it out and post it on, I'll ask the PR team to help us find you, but post it, send it to the questions and answer chat box. That's where I'll find you and I'll announce who the winner is. So quickly, Precious, now let's talk about dessert.
Yes, my favorite.
Okay, your favorite.
Yes.
So you've got the sweet tooth.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, this looks very interesting.
Yes.
And it is?
So this is a banoffee pie.
Banoffee pie?
Yes.
Okay, you want to throw us with English from?
Yeah, from Harvard.
From Harvard,
So
you know what I mean? Yeah. So,
yes.
Okay, so what is it? Yeah.
It is a pie crust, as you can see.
Yes.
And then it has white chocolate. It's filled with a banana mousse.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then it's topped with white chocolate mousse and my personal favorite, our Kit Kat shavings just here on top.
Kit Kat.
Yes.
Nestle. Anne-Marie, I'm hoping you're listening. and everybody in the office is listening. You know, where we are clearly demonstrating to our member, Nestle South Africa, that we do use your product. We walk the talk. So there's you sprinkled Kit Kat.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we also use some condensed milk.
Condensed milk.
Yes.
There we go.
So it's a whole lot of sugar.
Yes.
But what I like about the Bread Box Bakery is that we cater for everybody. So if you want your gluten-free, your sugar-free, we've got you.
Yeah.
Come through. We'll make it exactly the way it is to your preference. Good to go.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Now this looks very fancy.
Yes,
for lack of fancy. Very fancy. It looks like you're not supposed to eat it.
Yes.
It looks like part of the decor.
Yes.
And what is this?
So that is our shop cheesecake. It just has a cookie crumble at the bottom. Right?
Okay.
So usually we use fresh cream, but because it's all about sugar here, we use our Nestle full cream sweetened condensed milk, the one we have here at the back. Hope our viewers can see it. So it's just, you know, topped it up with a little bit of mangoes, some strawberries, cookie crumble, whatever cookie favorite, just use it. And
it looks amazing. And did you take us through this one?
No, I haven't.
Yes.
So this is our berry and chocolate cake.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So we have layers of berry in between our vanilla sponge. We also used our condensed milk, the one from Nestle, of course. And then we have our decadent white chocolate. You can use whatever white chocolate, whatever your favorite. You know, just make it look lovely. Like you said, it's for the eyes. You eat with the eyes first before, you know. So if it's pleasing to the eyes, it's definitely pleasing to the stomach. So so this is just what we have.
Guys, in any movie there's a star of the show, right? And I feel like today condensed milk is the star. Yes. It takes me back to my upbringing where we used to and I'm going to use this word very loosely, steal the condensed milk, and we open it up on the corner a little bit, and me and my siblings would eat this thing, and by the time my mom wants to open the can, Yeah, it used to be condensed milk. It's
it used to be.
I'm sure some of the people on the line will understand what I'm talking about. Condensed milk was, and it's still the star of the show. So just a quick zoom into the table again. With may I ask my camera colleague to do the thing, just to entice you so you see what it is that you can whip up at home. I'm going to ask Precious, can we have recipes or am I pushing it?
Come through to the Bread Box Bakery and Studio. Will give you everything you need.
Are these secret recipes?
These are secret. Like the only thing I can give you is condensed milk.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only thing.
We want the recipe. Guys, I tried to get you the recipe, but I'm sure we will make a plan. We'll put it on our website or something like that. Thank you so much, Precious.
Thank you.
I can't wait to dig in.
You
so
should.
When the show is over, we're drinking water, we're drinking coffees and teas, we're having delicacies and whatever it is, the dessert, and I cannot wait for later on to dig in. Thank you so much, Precious.
Thank you very much.
So lovely to chat to you. So we will now move on with the show. I request that please, or reminder rather, to please send us your questions. Be a part of the conversation. Come on, be part of the conversation. Many, 2 competitions to enter. We're looking for 20 winners and another special winner with the weekend away situation. And then we also have the Bread Box 3-course dining experience. Guys, we're not messing around at Proudly South African. And with all our partners, we're doing this thing and we're doing it right. And courtesy of the Bread Box, Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa, Nestle South Africa, and Hewlett's. Thank you so much. Thank you. We can never thank you enough. Nkonzo, are you online? Nkonzo is right here with us, and Nkonzo is an executive from Hewlett's SA, our friend out in KZN. Welcome back, Nkonzo. Tell us a bit about your role at Hewlett's and how the sugar value chain plays out through Hewlett's.
Thank you. I'm the Corporate Affairs Executive. My role mainly entails stakeholder engagement. By stakeholder, we mean our growers or our farmers. We have about, in particular, about 10,000 small-scale growers that one interfaces with, as well as the co-ops. We have about 70 co-ops. We are also engaging with rural communities in terms of the traditional leadership structures. Like Joan had indicated that we are a rural industry. So as a company in the areas where we operate, I am responsible for interfacing or for linking our company representatives with the relevant community leadership. I'm also responsible for engaging with government in all spheres, be it national, provincial, as well as local. And we also engage with a number of other stakeholders, be it closer communities in terms of where our mills are also positioned, or in the communities, or what we call transitional communities, in terms of the informal settlements, where again we draw some of our labor. So that's the crux of my role. I'm also facilitating from a corporate social investment space. I think the right terminology now is the socio-economic development, in terms of how, as a company, we can invest back in the communities where we operate, either through bursary programs, or be it food security. One also facilitate working again in conjunction with the community structures in the targeted areas. The last bit is mainly around communication, in ensuring that when there are good stories about the organization, we are able to communicate internally in terms of our employees, as well as then the broader audience in terms of the South Africa. Obviously, as a company, we are more than 100 years old. So we will try as much as possible to ensure that we remain, relevant in terms of our interaction or engagements with communities. When it comes to the value chain, obviously, I always enjoy when I'm engaging with youngsters, to know where. I always ask them, where does sugar come from? They'll say from a particular shop, but from where we are as Tonga Tulip, it starts from a seed cane. We call it a certified seed cane, where we try and ensure that farmers have access to healthy seedlings, which then goes into a sugar stock that is looked after, be it our commercial farmers, be it our land reform farmers, be it our co-ops. It depends. In other areas, it's grown for 12 months. In other areas, it's for a period of 18 months. Thereafter, it's harvested by the growers themselves. It's then hauled to our mills. We have 4 mills as a company, where it's crushed until then it produces the relevant sugar crystals. It's then taken to our refinery for packaging and then distributed in the various distribution centers. So that's the value chain within which we operate as Tonga Tulip.
All right, and as the first, you're the leader of the pack, by the way, Hewlett's, South Africa, the only sugar brand that has joined the movement, the proudly South African movement, and big ups for that, for being the leader of the pack. And I just want to quickly touch on the unfortunate events that we saw about 4 weeks ago in South Africa, the unrest. It has happened. We have seen the devastating outcome of that. We are here now. We're rebuilding. We have to continue. We're rebuilding the economy. How did that affect you as a brand? Any aspect of the value chain that you operate within?
Thank you for the question. Obviously, there were communities that were affected. In particular, we have a grouping of co-ops at Mbongolwane, which is Eshowe, where a few hectares, around 440 hectares, that were sort of put on fire during the unrest. So that has had an impact in that particular grouping of cooperatives. I think the members within the 3 co-ops, we are talking about 750 members that obviously had clubbed in their land parcels to actually formalize their cooperatives. But we are engaging with the local municipalities, the national government, and a number of conversations that have been facilitated through the industry or through the South African Sugar Association to see how best those growers could be supported. On our side, as a company, obviously the crushing of sugarcane is scheduled. But following the incident, we actually ensured that we prioritized the farmers that were affected at the time. There was also the issue around the warehouse, where we also had some looting that was reported there. Once again, we are engaging with the DTIC in terms of, painting the picture in terms of the impact and the quantities of the sugars or of the sugar that was looted. But overall, I think as an industry, we have come together. By industry, I mean the growers, I mean the millers, I mean the industry as an administrator of the 2 structures. And also government has also been quite responsive in terms of receiving the information and ensuring that the right responses and the interventions are there. Through SASA, we are aware that also the DTIC has also put in place a fund where the likes of the IDC, the NEF are also a party to that. I think when you look at the IDC package, you will see that it focuses mainly on the rural communities, and it moves beyond just the sugarcane growing business. But it is also saying if there were schools that were also impacted or any other social infrastructure that was impacted as a result of the riots, we need to also present that information to them so that they can facilitate some form of an intervention. So overall, it was a challenging experience, but as a collective, I think there are interventions and systems that have been put in place to ensure that no one is negatively affected in the long run as a result of the riots.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nkonzo. You will be pleased to know that when that happened, we had our CEO wrote to yours, just to say that we are, we stand in solidarity with you. We are, we are also saddened by what had transpired, because as a member company, it was important for us to not turn a blind eye, to reach out to Hewlett South Africa. And it was pleasing to see that your CEO wrote back and said, even in the midst of all of this, we are still committed to doing the work that we do. We committed to our localization, your localization commitment, and you are committed to ensuring that you sustain the many jobs within the Hewlett South Africa operation. Thank you so much for forging ahead, even in the midst of trouble. With that said, please don't go away. We're not done with you yet, but there is a nice comment that I would like to read to you and to Joan. It's directed at both of you. It is from Anjalia Naidu, who says, "Thank you, Joan and Nkonzo, for taking me back to my childhood in Kempsbell Township, Mount Edgecombe, where our fathers, brothers and sons worked on the sugar estate and the mills, which since have closed. Sad to see that the people are no longer there. The town has been torn down for new developments." Sad to see. But this discussion is evoking beautiful memories for some of our viewers, who, particularly those who are out in the KZN region, which is a great thing to see. Thank you so much, Nkonzo. We'll chat to you just now. And now we move on to our next guest, Busi. Busi is from Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa. Busi is on the line with us. We did say hello there we go. We did say hello to you earlier on. We are hoping you are raring to go, having heard the stories of these other women. Thank you so much for joining us, Busi. Welcome. So please, could you briefly tell us about Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa is working, tell us how Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa is working on supplier transformation and overall transformation in your workplace.
Thank you, Happy. As Coca-Cola Beverages, we are very committed to supplier transformation and transformation in general. So I'm taking you to 3 years back in 2018, we made a commitment to transform 3.9 billion of our supply chain, of our procurement to Black-owned suppliers. And where we are standing at the moment, we actually have exceeded the target. We've transformed above 7 billion to the hands of Black-owned suppliers. With that said, our ambition then in 2018 was for us to be a level 1 BBB company by 2022. And we've actually reached that goal ahead of the target. As that this year, 2021, we are now a level 1 BBB company. And from a supply transformation point of view, we've maximized the scorecard in terms of the BBBE, where obviously above 50% of our procurement is sitting in Black hands, and also Black women procurement, we've pushed that as well. So all the elements that we had to push, we've maximized on those. But what is key to note is for us as Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa, transformation is not just about a scorecard. We are committed to true transformation. So although we've maximized the scorecard and we're a level 1 BBB company, the journey for transformation is still continuing. So what we have in place, obviously, we go out to market and we try and we bring transform suppliers into our business, but also we also focus on local procurement. So if we take the sugar industry into consideration, I mean, there's the Sugar Master Plan, which was signed. And as Coca-Cola Beverages Company, we had committed that we'll procure 80%, make sure that 80% of our sugar is procured locally in year 1, and by year 3 we committed to 95%. And I mean, as we are standing now, year to date, we are sitting at 100%. So we do appreciate that. Obviously, within the sugar industry, I think for them, the consumption of sugar has reduced, and I think from our side, it has mainly been driven by the health promotion levy, which was put into place, which had forced us, as John Marie has said, to reformulate some of our products and try and use less sugar. But I mean, we are committed to the South African industry. We are committed to transformation. So over and above that, you know, when we onboard suppliers onto our supply base, we actually make sure that we support and we make sure that they're sustainable. So we've got supply development programs that we do. And as well as we've got an SME fund, the 100 million SME fund that we've got to make sure that we support those suppliers where there is needs for capital expansion, that they are able to attain those goals. And what is also key to note that, I mean, we've also got a Mintiro Foundation, which has done a lot in terms of supporting the small scale sugarcane farmers. So we've invested in those. We've provided them, some of them with transport to make sure that they're able to transport some of their sugarcane to the sugar mills, which some of them are out of their way. So there is quite a lot, and I mean, the process is evolving, but I think with that said, collaboration for us is very key, which is why we are also stakeholders in the Sugar Master Plan. Is basically want to make sure that the sugar industry is sustainable and it grows, because obviously it is one of the key ingredients for us to produce our products. So it is in our interest to make sure that, you know, the jobs within that market are saved, that market is profitable and grows. And yeah, but I think all in all is we want to also have a voice and be heard and contribute to the transformation of the economy of the country as a whole.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, it's so lovely to hear that, like you say, you know, you being part of the Sugar Master Plan is also to ensure that you know, there's clear growth and transformation, but that there's also inclusivity, so to speak, in the sector. But also, you've mentioned that you know, I remember, I think 3 years ago or so, you said that you were sitting at 80% at the time, was it? And you are now on 95, or you are anticipating, or you plan to be at 95% at some point?
So the pledge was, when we started, was 80%, right? And by year 3, obviously, the pledge was for us to be at 95%, and we've exceeded those targets. And I'm saying, as we are sitting year to date, we are sitting at 100%. But, you know, sometimes we cannot guarantee the supply. Something might force us to go outside of the market. But yes, from where we are, we've exceeded those commitments, which was 80% in year one and 95%. I mean, we just completed year one and 95% by year three. So we have exceeded those targets.
Yeah. So commendable.
But I think also what I must add, what is key to note within the business as a whole is, and taking into account Women's Month, is we've done a lot from a supply chain to make sure that we onboard female suppliers and empower them. But also that you can see that throughout the organization, because even within the organization, we've got about 40% of women in leadership, in senior leadership positions, and we are basically striving to improve that percentage to even be higher. So for us, like I said, transformation is not just about a scorecard or targets. We are overachievers when it comes to transformation because we are responsible corporate citizens.
Good for you, Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa. And it's heartwarming to see. I mean, 3 years ago, so we took you, Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa, to the Presidential Job Summit, where you were represented by your colleague Mutsidisi Mokoena back then, where you as a company made a commitment to the president to say you will increase your level of localization in your operation. And the fact that today you sit at 100% is really just so so pleasing to see that there's a lot of work that has happened over the past 3 years or so, and also the fact that you are you've taken you are intentional as a company to ensure that women in your operation claim their positions because they're capable, not because you're just ticking a box, but because they can do the work, and clearly it shows in the work that you do. Thank you so much. But I wanna end off this part of the discussion with this. So as South Africans, we have a sense of humor, right? If the social media is anything to go by, I mean, whether we're going through a tragedy, whether there's always someone out there who's on standby to crack a joke, and before you know it, that thing is trending and we're all laughing and we've forgotten about our heartache. So not so long ago on social media, I would imagine that most of us have seen it. There's a lady who goes to a store to buy your brand Coca-Cola sugar-free, right? She gets a bottle of sugar-free Coke, and then she goes to the aisle where there's sugar, literally sugar, takes a packet of sugar and takes the Coca-Cola sugar-free. She gets to the till and somebody who's with her says, but why are you buying sugar-free Coca-Cola and a packet of sugar? She says, well, I need to put the sugar in the Coke because they say there's no sugar here. There's no sugar in the bottle of Coke. It's sugar-free, so I need to weigh a little bit of sugar because I like it, with some sugar in it. Just thought I'd touch on the sense of humor that we have as South Africans. But thank you so much, Busi. Lovely to talk to you. But please stay on. Let me see if there's a comment for you from anybody. Thank you so much. I'll chat to you again just now. The bread box. Dashmika Pillay from Durban says, we need the bread box in Durban. I'm just, don't shoot the messenger. I have delivered the message. We need the bread box in Durban.
We're working on it.
Yeah, in Durban. So with that said, please may we play the Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa commercial? Somebody?
Time to live my life.
There we go. Coca-Cola Beverage South Africa has always done amazing things on television, and it's about the power of marketing. We all know the brand. Everybody knows the brand. but they have not stopped. There's no sense of complacency from the brand. They always go out there with amazing marketing campaigns to remind us as consumers to to consume their brand. And you know how strategic they are. If you go to a retail store, for example, and you're about to pay, you're in the queue to make your way to the till. There's that fridge, that Coca-Cola beverages fridge that is strategically placed, and before you know it, as you're minding your business, you feel like you are thirsty from nowhere, and you are now forced to buy, in a way, to grab that bottle of Coca-Cola from the fridge. Unintentional purchasing, which is working fantastically for the brand. So those are the kind of things that Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa does. Thank you so much, guys. I would have loved to have everybody chat at the same time, but I'm going to do this. And to all the speakers, this question, or as we step off our professional hats a little bit and we talk about, just before, as we nearing the end of the discussion today, we talk about all things that make us human, really, because when we leave our offices and we go home, we're consumers, we are moms, we are wives, we are sisters, we are aunts, we are neighbors, we are cousins, or whatever, in no particular order. So with that said, I just want to throw one or two questions your way and any of you can really participate in this question that I'm going to ask in no particular order. So how do you in your environment and your work space step in, not only as a boss, who is a leader of a team, but as a woman? How do you step in to fix somebody else's crown? And how do you let your guard down a bit and remember that you're also a woman, and when you're dealing with whatever it is that you may be dealing with and helping a colleague or somebody that reports into you or whatever the case, but how do you step off that professional space and be a woman who feels somebody else's pain, or who feels somebody else's challenge? And I think I want to start off with Joan. I want to start with you, Joan.
Thank you. Well, I've unmuted myself. That's right. I think one of the actions I've never forgotten, one of the incidents, was in my office with an executive secretary, and she was there very early, and she looked terribly distressed. And I said, has something happened at home? He said, no, I don't know what to say to you. I said, well, just say it. She said, I forgot all about that work you asked me to do. I said, that's marvelous, so honest. Well, let's both do it. She said, really? I said, it's wonderful when people don't feel the need to lie, but just say, I forgot to do it. And then we can all get down and help you. So relax, my sister. As you know, many a man in my committee prefers to give me an inaccurate response. I love your attitude. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's okay to forget. Hey, Joan, we are not, it's okay to forget. We all forget. I mean, I'll tell you a little story. I forgot where I put my car keys one day in the office. And I looked everywhere for the car keys because I had an interview to go to. The team tried to help me. I went to the kitchen, tried to retrace my steps. I could not find the keys. A colleague of mine, Janine, who thought she was dealing with a mad black woman, I ran into her office and I said, give me your car keys, please. I need to go somewhere. She threw the keys at me and I drove Janine's car to an appointment. As I was driving on Rivonia Road, a light bulb moment. I suddenly remembered where I put my keys. They were safely put in between my twins. I'll leave it there. The rest is a private conversation. I literally, it was safe. My keys were safe in between my twins, and I thought I'd lost my keys. I actually literally had a laugh out moment in the car alone, because it can happen to the best of us, right?
Well, at least it's a lot better than what I did, putting my washing in the fridge.
It gets worse. Oh my word, it gets worse. And it's okay to laugh at ourselves. Life is difficult as it is. You have got to find the humor. You have to find the humor. Anna Marie, what's your story?
Well, I think when it comes about forgetting, not as I must say, kind of offers a couple of times in COVID, where I ended up without my laptop and found myself at work without a laptop. And that has happened a couple of times. But I think in terms of your question, what makes us human is I think, one, the honesty. Luckily, I work in a profession where I think within the nutrition world, it's mainly women. We've got very few men. Within Nestlé, of course, we've got a lot of men. But we have almost 50%, 40% women in our business, which also makes it very nice. So I think we are, because we're emotional creatures, for me, it's one of the best things. I have a friend at the office, and someone said one day, you have to have a best friend in the office. And I'm very fortunate to have had a few very best friends. And you could just go there and say, I need a hug today. And I have found over the years that those warm hugs really mean so much when I need it, or when my friends have needed, or just someone else. And I think being in the office helps us to see what other people are going through, and people don't always want to share, but being there for people and just making yourself available, in my experience, has helped so much. In my teams over the years, I've seen that too, where I had young mums, often with sick children, and it's so nice for them just to be able to say, I can't come to work today, I've got a sick child at home, or something has happened, and we're kind of just there for each other. And I think having each other's backs has really helped so much. In my career, I traveled quite a lot in the past few years. I've been with Nestlé now almost 25 years, so but traveling a lot, and always knowing that there's someone out there. When my kids were in school, I could call a teacher and just say, just make sure that my daughter's ponytail is fixed, and literally fixing her crown when she gets to school in the morning, because that was not quite as patient with doing the pats and all the things that the kids want. But so I think being honest with yourself and with other people is probably the one thing that keeps us human. Sometimes we have to make hard decisions, and we still can be honest with ourselves and to our true self in terms of what it is that we're doing and why we are doing it. And I think as long as we've got knowledge as to why we're doing what we're doing, and we're certain about that, everything else kind of falls into place.
Absolutely, can say that again. Everything else falls right into place. Thank you so much, Anna Marie. Stay put, don't go anywhere. Gonzo, are you there? What's your story? Who's your role model in the industry or in business?
In the industry or in the business, there is Ugogo of Virginia. I think she's 85. She's the chairperson of one of the co-ops. She has such energy and such rich history, about the history of the farmers, where, the role of women, before transformation. So every time I'm in the Bundus, I always try and make time to meet up with her. I think within the industry, all the women, that I've interacted with, if I remember my first day within the industry, I had a lady who asked, who asked me who I am, and I said, I'm Gonzo. And then she said, when you're engaging with so-and-so, be careful, don't do this. And I remember that I took everything that she said to heart, and it helped me a lot. And when I had issues, I could go back to her and say, I'm presenting this paper, or I'm meeting with this committee, please listen to this presentation. Is it enough? Am I able to? She was, with me all the way. So, and currently within Tonga Tulit, I would say in all levels of the organization, you always find a young, lady who inspires you, to either be more in terms of what you do, and again to be, what's the right word? To be available, because I find that a lot of times, obviously, in our roles, we are quite busy, and it's always nice, to dedicate time when someone comes to your office, either just to say hello, or if they are presenting a problem. In my environment, the majority are male in terms of the team. So I would ask about their families and try and connect with their spouses or partners, so that, there is that sense of team and sense of family. And I found that it has made the working environment, quite productive and healthy, and it increases the sense of trust amongst the members, who are part of the team or of my team at the time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nkonzo. I think you could have told us more, but I think you told us what we want to know. I wanted to find out what is it that you forgot. But I'm going to ask Busi. Busi is coming back online now. What is the one thing, Busi, that you forgot to do at work, but you managed to clean it up very nicely, and things didn't fall apart completely? What is that one thing? Tell us the secret. You start off.
I really can't think of anything right away. But I mean, what is important to know is, as humans, we're not perfect, right? And it's important as women to overcome, the need for perfectionism, and for us to, to be accepted. Yeah. We need to realize that you are not a rock.
Yes.
So you are a human being with emotions.
Yes.
So you need to allow yourself, your mental being must always be important. So if there's something that you forget at work, there's always the next day to get back to it.
Absolutely.
So why do you need to put yourself, you need to put yourself first, especially your mental being. So you need to make sure that you love yourself unconditionally, no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's important in work to have the sisterhood. So you need to be the sisterhood. So I think I have been fortunate that in my environment that I'm working in, there's a lot of women that I look up to. Okay. That, if I've forgotten something or there is something that I don't know, I can always go to those women to lean on and to learn from them.
I couldn't agree with you more. Two things from what you've said is that sisterhood. Every girl needs their circle of sisterhood. You need it. You just need it. People who are not going to judge you, people who are going to accept you for who you are. Sisterhood is key, but also that we're not human. In light of Women's Month, August, there's a say that is profound, that we hear all the time. Watintumfazi, watintimbogodo. I don't prescribe to it. Imbogodo is a stone that does not crack, and you've just alluded to that. It does not crack. You hit it, it does not crack. I want to crack. I'm sure you want to crack too. I want to have an ugly cry. I want to lose my mind. I want to eat a tub of ice cream without anyone judging me and finish it all. I want to drink my glass of wine. I want to do things that human beings do without being called imbogodo. We crack. Guys, we crack. Don't let anyone put we crack. And we need to crack to demonstrate that we are human. And you've just alluded to that nicely. Thank you so much, Gusi. Thank you. I'll say my goodbyes to you now as I do my closing remarks. And it's okay to, so with that said, before I have a one-on-one with the speakers to say goodbye, I would like us to show on the screen the 20 winners of the amazing, proudly South African goodie bags, courtesy of Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa and Nestle South Africa. On your screen, these are the competition winners. These are the competition winners. Fantastic. Women from all over the place. We've got 20 of them, which is fantastic. So the delivery man is making their way to you. I'm told sometime in the next few days. The team is nodding. They're making their way to you to deliver your goodies. There's one condition. When you do get your goodies, please unbox it and take a video and share with us on Instagram or on your preferred social media platform. Do the deed, because we would like to be part of it and see what goodies you have received and how excited you are. We also have a winner of the 3-course meal experience at the Bread Box. And the winner is, drum roll, and the winner is, you're going to have dinner on Friday with whoever it is that you choose to go there with. The winner is Tenigay Pillay. Tenigay Pillay is the winner of the 3-course meal experience at the Bread Box this Friday. Well done, Tenigay Pillay. We will be in touch. Proudly South African will be in touch to give you all the details. Go think about your local, your beautiful dress that is made locally by somebody. It doesn't matter who, it can be anybody who is South African, and walk the talk. Go have a nice meal at the Bread Box and show up. Get up, show up, get up, dress up, and show up. Thank you so much, everybody. And my closing comments are at this. We are about to close the conversation today. I mean, so much to absorb, so much to to think of, so much to ponder on. Let everything you've heard of today sink in. Let everything sink in. And I think what we need to take away from this discussion today is that as women, it's okay not to be imperfectly perfect. Okay? It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay. I'll tell you another quick story about the issue of forgetting. One of the women that, in my sisterhood tells me that one day she goes to, after work, it's colleagues, they go to Friday after work, they go for drinks. They're at the bar, they have a few drinks and all of that. She goes home, and when she gets home, she suddenly she forgot where she put her phone. She's looking for her phone everywhere. She can't find it. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. She cannot find her phone. She looks everywhere. She tries to retrace her step. She goes back to the bar, which is not far from her home, to look for her phone. She asks everybody in the bar, the waiters that served her. She cannot find the phone. She goes back home. She's distraught because her phone is her life. She phones her dad and says, "Dad, I've lost my phone. Please, when you try and get a hold of me from tomorrow, you must phone me from another number. Here's the number, blah, blah, blah." And the dad says, "Okay, so where did you lose your phone?" "I went out for drinks with my colleagues." "What kind of colleagues do you hang around with?" "Now somebody stole your phone." "Yes, Dad, I don't know. I don't want to accuse anybody." "Go back to the bar and look for the phone." And then the dad says, "Wait a minute. Which phone are you using now to phone me?" It is the phone that was lost. Guys, it's okay. All of that is okay. The dad says, "Come down. Which phone are you using now to phone me?" Please, can I have Joan on screen? Because I want to say thank you and goodbye to Joan. It's the phone that had disappeared. It's in her hands. Joan, it happens to the best of us. It's a lovely story, and it's a true story. Listen, my life is a movie, Joan, and I come across all these stories, and to keep myself happy, you know, your parents don't give you a name like that. It's a trap. You have to find all these aspects to really laugh at life and have a good time while you do this life thing. But Joan, thank you so much. Our gratitude, no boundaries. Thank you for your time. I'm hoping that I'm hoping you had a great time with us today. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Siyabonga, Joan. Thank you for your time. You always show up when we ask you to come with us and spread that buy local narrative. Bless you for that. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, please may I have Busi on the line with me, Busi from Coca-Cola Beverages, South Africa. Busi, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. We are very grateful that you showed up today and spent, you know, a little over 2 hours with us. We thank you. We thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for hitting our call to talk to us today. We hope you had a great time. Expect, you know, a little goodie bag as a token of our appreciation with all things local that you can enjoy at home with your family. Your parting shot?
Thank you, Happy, for having me. I mean, it was a pleasure to share the platform with other stakeholders within the sugar industry and to get to see some of the faces. You know, sometimes you know the names without the faces. But thank you to Proudly SA for always pushing the agenda of buying local and promoting local businesses and local entrepreneurship. And the journey still goes on, and we are committed as the Coca-Cola Beverages to the journey and to all great things. I believe together we can make South Africa a great country. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I know that your colleagues are online watching us, and I just want to throw you under a small Anyana bus and say to you, see you guys next year at the Buy Local Summit and Expo in March, where we showcase all the South African products. You've always been part of it. So naturally, I feel the need to say, you know, I know you'll be back. We'll see you next year in March. Thank you so much, Busi. Take care of yourself. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Moving on, may I please talk to Ngonzo? Ngonzo from Hewlett, South Africa. There you are. Thank you, Ngonzo. Thank you for your time. Our warm greetings to your colleagues who also made it happen. They found you for me. That's Zetu and Ali. You know, we do great things with them in the marketing space. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate your invaluable contribution to this discussion. What is your parting shot?
As a start, to also say thanks to you, Mzilikazi Kamashobane, for creating the platform for today, and also again for sharing the space. And I think my role today was to be the voice of the farmers, in particular the female farmers, and to really highlight that the rural communities are a vibrant sector, and that any intervention and support and any platform also contributes positively to their development and their sustainability. And we hope that through our continued partnership with yourselves, you know, people will be encouraged, you know, to prioritize local products and consume local products. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Siswam Siyabonga. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you so much. And last but not least is Anne-Marie from Nestle South Africa. Anne-Marie would like to extend our warmest appreciation. Thank you so much for your time. It is much, much appreciated. And I want to ask you to please send our warmest greetings to your colleagues, the likes of Saint, Zweli, Dinero, and everybody in the team. You guys remain our strength. We've done amazing things with you over the past few years. We thank you, greatly. What is your parting shot?
Well, firstly, thank you very much for having us here. It was indeed a fascinating morning. I really enjoyed it personally. I think my parting note is let's be mindful when we eat. Let's enjoy what we eat. And then I think the last thing is let's keep each other's crowns up. Sometimes it can be a bit skew, and that's okay, but let's just keep it in there. And thank you once again for the opportunity.
Let's help each other with our crowns. And there's a nice parting comment from a member company, entrepreneur, Yamama Khemer. They make the traditional Khemer. In fact, talk about Khemer and I look at the scones. We should have had Yamama Khemer here. Guys, we should have had Yamama Khemer here so we can enjoy the scones with that. But Yamama Khemer says to you, and Marie, it's so, it's to you and everybody, including Hewlett's, they say it's all comforting to see that we are all forging ahead with the business at hand following the recent unrests. And it gives us hope as a business that constantly being affected by the changes in the industry. So she's just really just grateful that even in the midst of the trouble that we saw 4 weeks ago, we are here today, and none of the speakers here today said, okay guys, it's been good, we're shutting down, people are losing their jobs. The tone and the atmosphere is we'll keep on doing our best to make the difference. Thank you so much, Anna-Marie. Thank you so much. Thank you. Alrighty. So everybody, we've come to the end of this amazing discussion. Very different, because like I said, when I opened up the discussion earlier on that, when the invitation ended up in your inbox and you look at it and it says that come to a discussion about the sugar industry. If you're not in the industry, you're thinking, what about sugar? I mean, why do you want to be, over the top OTT and you want to talk about sugar? It's a big deal. Sugar is a big deal. Given all the information we now have, given all the, given the discussion we've had, we are now well informed. The next time you walk into a Pick n Pay or a Spar or a ShopRite Checkers and you see a packet of sugar, you'll have an appreciation of the fact that it's just not a brand or a product rather. There is so much more that happens to getting that product onto that shelf. And so thank you so much for being with us today. I want to thank our partners for today's session. Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa, thank you so much. Thank you to Hewlett South Africa, and thank you to Nestle South Africa. Thank you to all the speakers today. You could have been anywhere this morning, but you chose to heed our call and you were with us to talk to us as Proudly South African today. Thank you to the Bread Box. You guys were amazing. Thank you to all the stakeholders that are online. Thank you to colleagues at the DTIC, the sector desk. Thank you to all other members who are online today with us. Thank you to the executive team at Proudly South African for your support at all times. Thank you to the Proudly South African team who have done amazing things. The technical team has been amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all the goodies that are in the studio. Thank you to King David Tlale. I'm proudly dressed by David Tlale today. Thank you, David, for remaining a friend of the campaign and being the force to reckon with in the industry. Thank you. Keep on keeping on, David. Thank you so, so much. Thank you, everybody. Next week on the 25th of August, we're back in the studio and we're talking to women in the creative sector. We look at what we consume from a local content perspective on television. So all the local series that we like, The River, House of Zwide, Isibaya. Oh, there's no Sibaya anymore. Hang on a second. The River, The Queen, you know, all the reality shows that we have in South Africa, all the music shows that we have on our television, everything and anything you can think of that is, you know, made for the South African palate and for the South African viewer, and everything that we consume on radio, the radio shows. But we're talking to women behind the scenes, women who are not necessarily on the screen, but women who make it happen in the creative and arts space. It is on the 25th of August. It's from 10 o'clock in the morning until 12. We are talking to, and then we have a star who's going to make a guest appearance, but we will leave that secret for later. And last but not least is women in the automotive sector. On the 31st of August, we're talking to women who make cars, guys. They make cars. We ordinarily assume that when you see a car, it was put together by a man. There's women who do it with their, you know, working together nicely with their male counterparts and male colleagues. But we're talking to women in that industry, women who make who assemble cars, women who will take care of the windscreens and the side mirrors and the rearview mirrors, women who take care of the leather seats in the cars, women who take care of the connectivity and the electronic part of the car, women who take care of, you know, women who own a dealership and ends up selling the car to us as consumers. With that said, it is a wrap. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day further. Sanitize, keep your safe, following safe distance, and wear your mask. Wear your mask and keep safe. The pandemic is still very much out there with us, so we need to take care of ourselves. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day further. Cheers. Bye. Woo.